Hello everybody. Captain Happy here, and boy do I have a fun replay for you today. You can see here it's myself and a clanmate, Devogo, which we just call Devo, and I will for the rest of this video. He's in his Conqueror and I'm in my Henri. It is a tier 10 battle on Sleeping Giant. But that is the layout I will give you, and that's all I'll say for the time being about this battle. What I really wanted this video to be about, at least to start, was a couple other things, some news recently in World of Warships that I wanted to talk about, and this replay seemed like a great opportunity to kill two birds with one stone, especially considering that, quite frankly, for about the first 5 or so minutes of this battle, it's not exactly action-packed. So, to start with, the probably most controversial news recently has to do with Ranked Season 12. It will be Tier 10, as I'm sure most of you are already aware, but it will also include aircraft carriers. I will get to that in a moment. Most of you already know I am not big on CVs myself. I have enjoyed the gameplay a little bit more since the rework, but personally I'm more of a surface ship player, and my stats kind of reflect that. I am a 50% cruiser player, so comfortably you could say that's my primary. But as far as the ranked goes, they're also introducing rental ships as well, which I'm 50-50 on. I like the idea, especially that ranked is going to be tier 10, of allowing as many players as possible to participate. And there's a whole lot of newer players who don't have tier 10s or don't have what you might consider appropriate tier 10s, considering the fact that aircraft carriers are going to be involved. I know myself, I only had the Yamato and the Hindenburg for months and months, 6 months probably in the first year or so that I played the game, so I can kind of relate to being that newer player and not having a full list of ships as options. The somewhat negative side, or I won't say negative, potentially negative side to the rental ships is the system by which, so wins and losses, you still gain and earn stars, lose stars, depending on that. That's no different. But statistically, if you're in a rental ship, none of your stats go on your permanent record or mark you as an individual player in any way, and it's a very, very, very low probability of this. But I can see players doing it just to kind of mess around and not intentionally throw games or anything like that, but not take it as seriously as maybe some of us want to. In particular, with CVs, and though I know that there's a fair portion of the community who is totally happy with this and excited to see CVs in ranked again, there's a fair amount of the community that feels exactly the opposite, and I see two things potentially happening within the first week or so of this rank season. First thing, after a week, you won't see destroyers anymore. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but that's a prediction I'm making right now. To me, it seems like, first of all, it's going to be midways pretty much top to bottom, unless they're rentals, and any ship that kind of leaves the protection of the group, and that would be primarily destroyers, are going to be focused down and nuked, especially with how potent the midways HE bombers are right now. I myself recently had a game in my Kangaroo and versus a midway, and my team lost. I did all right, got a couple caps and some damage, no kills. But the thing that really, really, really shocked me was that I survived to the end of the battle. And what's what's what I didn't like about that is I spent 80% of that battle hiding from the CV, and that was it. That that isn't fun. And no, to be fair, that wasn't fun for me. Maybe other Destroyer players can make a game out of it and catchy, chasey, and it's interesting. Not for me. Um, 2 out of the 3 smokes that I used because the HE bombers were incoming. Not because I was spotted by enemy ships, not because I was capping. It was purely to avoid it. And the point is, I digress. The point is that I don't see destroyers being long for ranked this season. The other part, within a week or so of this ranked season beginning, will be potentially players getting very frustrated with the format, with the role and the power that CVs can have in determining games, and maybe they start using rental ships to just screw around and yellow in and, kind of throw caution to the wind. But to be clear and to be fair, that's a very low probability. It's a concern of mine with the rental ship aspect, but it's not something I think is going to be overly relevant or overly prevalent, to be perfectly fair. It's just a dynamic of having rental ships that crossed my mind when I heard that. The real challenge is going to be with the gameplay as a whole. You're going to have 6 surface ships and a CV for each side. And how I see it playing out, now Wargaming's talked about the different maps that they've introduced and trying to have the maps kind of cater in a way to not directly counter CV play, but to give ships an option, to give ships kind of methods by which they can not be purely restricted to blobs of 6 ships moving in one direction, kind of lemming training. That, sadly, is what I see happening in the overwhelming majority of battles. Maybe I'm wrong, hopefully I'm wrong, but that's what I kind of see going on, and it's the type of thing where what I'm doing in my head is comparing my experience last season with ranked, which I enjoyed, and if you caught any of my videos from that on this channel, I went 100% Kitakaze start to finish and ranked out. And the nice part about that for me was that I felt like I had a tangible impact, not on every battle, but on a good share of the battles I was in. I was allowed to carry, and I was, given some power over the outcome of different games. In this format with CVs, I don't know as a surface ship that I'm really gonna be in control of my destiny. I feel like the overwhelming majority of the time, it's going to come down to a coin flip. And that coin flip will have a couple different elements to it. One element being just the pure, okay, Unicom midway CV player on the enemy team, newer, less experienced, less skilled CV player on our team, loss. Balanced CV players on both teams, coin flip. Whoever does better gets luckier, whichever blob has better shots, I guess. I think you can kind of see where I'm going here with this. And I just wanted to get that out of the way. Feel free to let me know how you feel about it one way or another. I have real reservations. I'm also concerned, kind of touching on the last point that I just made, that it's going to be more of a crapshoot doing things like ranking out. It's not going to be as reliant on your own individual gameplay, unless of course you're a CV player, than it has been in previous ranked seasons that have not included CV since the rework, which there haven't been any ranked seasons since the CV rework. So personally, I feel like there's a few little changes that still are needed to kind of help out there. And to be, again, totally fair to Wargaming, ranked season doesn't come out till 8.4. And we haven't gotten 8.3 yet, and it's coming in a day or two. So there's still time, and changes may be made. I have a list of things I would like to see different, but all that type of stuff has been covered much more in depth by other community contributors. So it's not the type of thing that I'm going to go into too much detail here. In particular, because that was the little bit of a spiel I wanted to go into at the start of this video. We're getting to the point now in this replay where things are getting really interesting. So I was able to get the replay from Devo's perspective in his Conqueror. He's managed, as you'd noticed, a couple kills already, 60k damage, not terrible. But if you look at his situation right now, it is a little perilous. It is very directly a 2v1. And he just took a big hit from the enemy Iowa. And he's got an enemy Bismarck closing in, and those secondaries are definitely going to become an issue. Now, many of you know, this is obviously, well, I don't think you can accurately call it a nerf. However, Devo pulls a move here that maybe once the Conqueror changes come in, it'll be a little more threatening to him, showing full broadside to these new battleships with the raised Citadel. But obviously this is the older version Conqueror, yet still, there's a couple moments in this, and you just saw right there one of the moments with his heal where it's amazing how much you can heal back in a Conqueror, which automatically keeps him in this 2v1 fight. And all of a sudden, hey, sudden Enterprise, or Lexington, forgive me. And so we kind of basically turn this into a 3v1. Make that a 2v1 as his secondary and HE fires end up killing the enemy Iowa, which, for what it's worth, I think I could safely say that was the biggest single threat he had in this fight. Hey, nod to myself, I killed the enemy chap I have. Hooray, I got a kill. But this video isn't about me. That the fires burned down the Iowa for Devo's third kill, and he very, very, very quickly went from 60k and doubled it up to 120. Here, as I was watching this replay, I was like, well, would you shoot at the aircraft carrier? And yes, clearly shooting at the aircraft carrier wasn't a terrible idea. Getting him eliminated, even though the enemy is now down to 2 ships, is not the worst idea in the world. And look at that gray bar on his Conqueror for what he will be able to heal back when he gets it. And there goes the enemy CV for kill number 4. So far, relatively straightforward. Nothing too spectacular, and it was at this point in the game that I said, oh, wow, you might get a Kraken. Oh, wow, is that Bismarck gonna ramp you? And this is where it really takes a turn. First of all, that massive heal where he prints himself a new ship comes in enormously useful. A lot because of how this ram goes down. Now, I'm watching this from about, I don't know, 15k, and I'm trying to shoot the enemy Bismarck, but there's some of my shells coming in. Hit him so I don't hit Devo. And watch. They're making contact. They're making contact. They're rubbing down. They're rubbing down. And there it is. High caliber, Confederate, Die Hard, Kraken Unleashed. That was one of the more entertaining, certainly endings to a battle that I've been a part of recently. And I know both Devo and I had a good laugh as that battle wrapped up. So that's about it for today. I'm thinking I'm gonna have time to upload a second video here of some clan battles, a particularly entertaining game we had. But let me know what you think about the upcoming rank season, and if you like the CVs. If you don't, clearly you already kind of have a bit of my own opinion. That will be it for today. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Thank you very, very much for watching, and this is Captain Happy, signing off.